Well, hello there, guys. Agrippa Maxenius here with Slytherin once again. We are going to be playing the Battle of Cerignola. This is actually a user-created battle set during the times of the Italian Wars between the Spanish and the French. Now, we're actually going to be playing as the Spanish, defending the city of Cerignola from the French, of course. Hopefully, we'll do an okay job here. Now, what I'm going to be doing is essentially keeping our men in this formation for now and allowing the enemy to go ahead and crawl up onto us. We've got some pretty good defensive positions here, and I think with the right setup we can actually stop the enemy from breaking our lines and totally rout them. But of course we're going to have to see if it works out. A lot of different things could affect this particular scenario. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So we can see the French army advancing at will. They've got quite a lot of different units here that could really hurt us, especially the cavalry here, which seem to be able to move a lot farther than most cavalry I've seen. We're going to try to get some shots off on them as soon as possible, and of course basically scatter them as best we can, but that could be tough. I'm actually mostly worried about those mercenary units right there. They can make things really hard for us, as you can imagine. Okay, guys, it looks like it's going to be our turn, of course, to do our best or our worst, all things considered. I want to go ahead and first of all see what kind of units these are. So these are stradiots, basically light lancers. Now, this was definitely during the time where people were making the change from, of course, fighting with pikes, etc., to actually using muskets. We're going to have to try and use as many muskets as we can during this part of the battle. Of course, we're still letting the enemy go ahead and ride up on us. There's not too much to do during this phase of the battle, except try and fire at the enemy units as best we can, try to do some damage. But let's go ahead and move, for instance, our gendarme over here. Try to get them on this right side. I'm also going to move the Italian mounted crossbowmen over here so they can start firing when they get a chance. And we're going to do the same with the gendarme on this side too, just moving them up, preparing for that French assault on our lines. Now, as you guys can see, we have a pretty nice defensive line set up, so I've got no interest in leaving this area if we can help it. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the French. More stradiots, but they're going to be hit by our crossbowmen. And we can see that Swiss Kiel, I believe it's Swiss Kiel, are moving up and preparing to attack. Obviously, they're going to cause us a significant amount of problems, but hopefully we can get them trapped on that tiny canal in front of us. There we go. I was worried about this, but of course we got hit by the stradiots, and now, of course, they can really let us have it. We might need to find a way to counter this particular situation. We have managed to already disrupt an enemy unit over there with the stradiots. Obviously, trying to get one of these guys to retreat this early on in the battle would be just magnificent. Okay, back to us, boys and girls. So here we go. First things first, I think I want to go ahead and maybe even charge the enemy here. They are disrupted, but I'm thinking that probably opening fire is a better idea over here, just trying to use our missile units to really damage the enemy. Over here, if we charge the enemy stradiots with our actual experimental colonellas, we can actually probably do a lot of damage here. So I'm going to go ahead and charge. And it looks like the stradiots haven't taken too much damage this turn, but that will change. I'm going to keep firing at the Swiss Kiel here. I know they're going to be a problem later on, so I'd rather go ahead and diminish as many of their forces as possible. Obviously, we're not going to move any of the rest of our men out. It would be pointless. But I will start moving these gendarmes out here to the side. Maybe they can eventually attack the stradiots from the flank. But we're going to have to see how it works out. Of course, we will fire over here with our mounted crossbowmen. And the enemy are going to react by shooting, but I think we can pretty much offset this reaction. Now, we could charge, but our chances of a loss are actually quite high. So I'm going to move the the Ginettes forward. We're still out of range of the enemy. We have to get quite close, but I will move the Italian gendarmes forward, and they should be able to charge into the enemy there and do quite a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and hit the Swiss Kiel one more time, or maybe we fire at the Gascon crossbowmen. Might be a better use of our cannons, but I think we're going to fire at the Swiss Kiel, try to break them down early on. Not a lot of damage, as you can see, only 2, but we're going to have to accept it, and we will end the turn here, hoping that these guys over here on our left flank do a pretty good job at fighting the French. All right, the Stradiots are doing pretty well, but there we go. We managed to fragment one of their units, and they've fallen back. So obviously attacking with these pikemen was not necessarily the greatest idea in the world. As long as they don't chase the enemy, it's going to be just fine. But I don't want our men chasing them at all. That would be a big problem. All right, now one of our men has disrupted the gendarme unit, and those mercenaries are getting awfully close. Looks like one of these units is actually retreating, or very close to retreating anyway. Come on, men. Pretty even fighting right there. And of course, it's now our turn, guys. So we're going to try and put as much fire down on the Stradiots as we can. But first, I'm going to fire with this unit. In fact, if we charge, we can actually get a victory here. So I'm going to try to charge. The enemy might retreat, and they are indeed going to evade us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn towards the approaching gendarme and just go ahead and open fire at them. Could do the same over here with the Swiss Kiel, or we could try and go for the gendarme. I think the gendarme are much weaker, so they're probably going to run a lot faster. That's why we're going to focus on them. Let's see. Chances of a win are pretty low. Keep firing at the Swiss Kiel, but what about attacking them over here? Once again, the chances of a win still pretty low, but we will go ahead and turn towards them just to get prepared for a possible impact, of course, and we'll keep firing on this Swiss Kiel unit. In fact, yeah, we can only get the one in the back. Just try to work down those units little by little. I'll also keep the fire on the gendarme over here. Not a single man down. That's not what I was looking for, but fair enough. Now, we could try to charge the enemy here, but our chances of a win are pretty low. So I think our best chance is just to use these missiles as best as we can and really smash the enemy. Also, we do have a unit here, but as you can see, since they are disrupted, it's going to make it very hard for us to break through. What about over here? No, chances of a win are pretty low. So I'm just going to get right up close and personal and try to use the crossbows. And once again, now we're becoming disrupted here. Not what we're looking for at all, but we're going to keep moving forward and try to use these missiles to our advantage. All right, I think that's about everything we can do this turn. We could, of course, move the gendarme over here and eventually turn them next turn or the turn after and focus on the enemy. So you can see those Stradiots are getting the hell out of here. They want nothing to do with this battle. So let's go ahead and end the turn it over to the French. Okay, our Jeannettes have held. That's good. This left flank is very weak, but I think if we can hold it, it really gives us a much better chance at victory. Now the enemy's charging us. They're going to smash into our right flank here. 18 down. Oh boy, our men are definitely going to be fragmented with that attack. And finally, they're going to charge there. But look at that. We actually killed or wounded 96 enemy units and disrupted that Swiss Kiel. That's not what I expected at all, but it seems to be working out pretty well. Here we go. Try to break the Gascon crossbowmen. Okay, we fragmented one of the enemy units. Disrupted another. And actually fragmented another enemy unit here. This is looking pretty good. And we're even holding our own against the Swiss Kiel. That's unbelievable. Now, unfortunately, over here, one of our units is broken. Maybe we should have never brought those gendarmes forward. I thought that it would be a good idea, but clearly it's not. It's also disrupting a bunch of other cavalry units, so we really need to try and turn this around, guys, if we can. Let's take a look here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is try to fire into this unit right here and try to see if we can break them. Not a single man dead. Well, we could charge and we probably win. So this is the one time I'm going to send out the experimental Cerignola. 46, enemy is fragmented. That's exactly what I like to see. We've got a disrupted enemy, or disrupted unit here. I'm going to move them forward. Pretty nasty shots on them, but we're going to keep firing at the enemy right here. And of course, this unit could turn around, face the enemy, and keep firing. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Remember, we've got some pretty good crossbowmen. Now, can we charge here and actually defeat this Swiss Keel? We're going to try, guys. We've got our own mercenaries, and they certainly know how to fight. I'm going to also fire with the cannons right into the enemy flank, and maybe even turn and attack. I don't think an attack would be a good idea, but maybe a nice musket shot could do some serious damage here. And what about attacking the enemy here, or continuing to attack that fragmented enemy? I don't think continuing to attack the fragmented enemy would be a great idea. So we're going to keep firing over here to this guy. And of course, we'll get these gendarmes out of this area and turn towards the enemy for a massive attack next turn. Once again, these guys are fragmented. This is a perfect time to attack. And we have broken one of the enemy stratiots and broken another of the enemy stratiots. One of them just running right off the field. They will not be back. However, our unit will, which is definitely good news for us, but we still got a lot of other things to worry about here on the battlefield. So we want to try and do our absolute best at breaking the enemy. I'm going to see if there's anything else we can do this turn. Probably not, and honestly, it looks like our cannons are in jeopardy next turn. So we need to start routing this army quickly and really make sure it works. I will fire at the enemy unit. They're going to return fire, of course, and we will end our turn right there, guys. Remember, the enemy is right now pretty badly disrupted. 53, they still haven't broken. That goes to show you the strength of those mercenaries, but we did manage to break the Gascon crossbowmen. They're not very good at close combat situations, which makes our job a lot easier here. All right, a rear attack on one of our fragmented units. We don't want that to happen at all. And once again, they've managed to disrupt another of our cavalry units. This right flank is not looking good for us, guys. They've now charged into our actual pikemen here. And they have broken one of our pike and shot units. That is not what I was looking for. And now this guy's trapped outside of the wall. Not the greatest situation at all. However, we do see a lot of the enemy army here retreating. And if we can get 60% of the army to retreat, then very simply, we win. Come on, boys. Unbelievable. The amount of casualties these guys took and not breaking is just amazing to me. It really is. Another one of our units broken right there, and now we've got 19% of our army broken. Okay, guys, it's now our turn. Got a lot we have to do here. Obviously, we can't fire into this unit as much as I'd love to. We can certainly turn our Jeannettes around. Fire. Fire again. Maybe even charge into these gendarmes. And I think at the flank like this, we could actually do a lot of damage. Not bad, but not great either. And these experimental Cerignolas seem to be pretty weak. So maybe we can go ahead and try and smash, or not experimental Cerignola, excuse me, the crossbowmen. Maybe we can try and charge one of these units once again. And break yet another one of their units off. Of course, our right flank has completely faltered. There's really not much we can do about that. We can, however, keep firing at these units. Maybe try to get as many enemy casualties as possible. Okay, guys, we're just going to have to hope for victory here. Really not much more we can do in this battle. I will end the turn. I'm hoping these defensive setups we have here are going to really assist us in getting a victory. '58, they still haven't broken. They've lost hundreds of men at this point. but they still stand strong, and they've actually rallied, which is terrifying. All right, a lot of French routing here, but some of them have actually rallied. We must win on this left flank. It's absolutely imperative. And those Gascon crossbowmen are doing so much damage to our unit here. The experimental Cerignola. Okay, our turn once again, and yeah, the enemy is absolutely outmaneuvering us. I'm going to try to open fire here. Not a single bit of damage. I don't like that one bit. What if we try to charge over here? I don't think that's going to work. We need to get out of this situation. So we're actually going to move even deeper into the enemy lines here, possibly even open fire on the enemy, and see just how much damage we can do here. Let's also turn around here. Fire at the flanks, of course, and eventually charge this area. But right now, it's all about this central line. If we can't hold the center, we certainly can't win the battle. All right, let's end the turn. There we go. We actually managed to disrupt some of these Gascon crossbowmen. Unfortunately, that Swiss keel continues to be a pain, and they probably aren't going to fragment anytime soon. Our unit 177 of the Swiss keel down. And there we go. They managed to disperse our cannon unit. Wow, so incredibly, our unit actually managed to fight against those Gascon crossbowmen. We're now trapped into a fight with them. If we can get them to run, we've actually put ourselves in not such a bad position. But we definitely should not have left the defensive position with them. Residual shooting phase, and the melee phase, of course. And there we go. We managed to break the enemy crossbowmen, guys. This is looking pretty good. If we can keep breaking enemy units, that would be great. We also just disrupted the Swiss keel once again, and we broke another Gascon crossbowman unit. That's looking very nice for us right now. But, of course, close but no cigar, as the saying goes. And now we're disrupted over here. I don't want this unit to break. They've got to try to hold out as long as possible. And now, of course, we're charging some more of the crossbowman units. And it is our turn, guys. Now look at that, a disrupted enemy unit. That's going to help us massively if we can hold the position, of course. But they've got some cavalry, which can probably attack our flank and cause some serious damage. I want to see if we can attack the enemy. No, we can't do anything here. What about moving up with the Jeannettes? Still out of range. And opening fire on this disrupted unit. Now it's all up to our fighting men to see if they can hold the line. We've actually got the enemy in some pretty good positions here, believe it or not. A lot of their units are disrupted. They're not looking good. It looks like they're going to break any second, but we've got to hold that left flank. Right now it's 21% to 20%, one of our closest battles in the game, but I hate this cavalry unit right here, the Arguelais. They could cause a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and end the turn and see what happens. .72 enemies fragmented once again. Oh, we're so close to breaking that Swiss keel, guys. And this defensive barrier is the only reason we're actually outmatching the Swiss keel in battle, I believe. 58 disrupted. He's going to break very soon here. And we continue to chase the enemy. We might be able to smash into the rear here of this enemy, further sending their men into a panic. 17. I was worried about that. We were going to have to fall back. And there is the flank attack and another unit of Gascon crossbowmen breaking, guys. Absolutely wonderful. And, of course, a rear attack with another one of our units, and we broke one of the Swiss Kiel. That is huge. With the Swiss Kiel gone, some of their strongest units are completely finished. But they're still going to send that cavalry through, maybe try to take out the cannons. Come on, men. .62, another Swiss Kiel unit breaking. I mean, it's very hard for things to get better than this. At this point, the enemy is completely look at that, unbelievable. We actually managed to get a victory, guys. The enemy has lost heart, 47% of their army. That was great. We actually managed to get a victory. Do we want to accept victory gracefully and let the enemy withdraw? Yes, why not? Mainly because I want to see the actual difficulty here. We were actually playing on Colonel. We usually play on Sergeant Major General, so things were a little easier. But I do want to see the differences here in actual casualties. And as you can see, we killed 955 enemy foot soldiers, wounded 1,175, made 2,794 rout. We only lost 216 and 436 wounded, so we didn't do so bad at all. And remember, this was a Spanish victory, of course, historically anyway, so really luck was on our side. I think we had a few mistakes moving out of the defensive zone, but at the same time, they actually ended up benefiting us anyway. So it was a really, really nice battle. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day.